physician who's had my license for 40 years and had a very strong biochemistry background, I can say, and seeing what's happening with the X39, I can say without a doubt that this is the most significant medical breakthrough in my lifetime.
Hi everybody, aloha, Maria Benardis here. So today I have a video discussing why the vibrational frequency of the clothes that you wear and the shoes that you wear is really, really important and why it matters. And I'm going to actually make reference to a professor friend of mine by the name of Heidi Yellen. So she's an absolute amazing woman, and we've actually been text messaging each other because I have wanted to have her as a guest on my Rumble channel. However, she's had some personal things that have been happening, and also she was very busy writing a book. And this book will have, in much more depth, a lot of this information that I'm going to be discussing today. So I'm very excited for her and with all the exciting things that are happening with her book. So she's been very busy and has really put on hold a lot of interviews and stuff like that. So we have really got to thank Dr. Yellen because she was one of the first ones that actually said, hey, I'm actually going to study the Bible to see what it says about what we should be wearing. And quite clear, wool and linen came up, but not wearing them together, but wearing them on separate occasions. Otherwise, they negate each other. And she was the first one to really measure the frequency. And what a lot of people don't know is you can actually measure the vibrational frequency of your body. And this is how I personally know that my body, mind, and spirit is vibrating at a very, very high rate. I mean, that's been confirmed. And this is why I am able to deliver content, by being in communion with God and Yeshua, and they guide me as to what to say, where to research, where to go, and what is important for people's ascension and health and wellness. So very important, because what you're wearing by way of clothes and and by way of shoes, I should say, gee, got a little bit tongue-tied there, really does matter. It can either raise your vibrational frequency or bring it down. And if you are not doing other things to increase your vibrational frequency, then it is contributing to inflammation in your body. It is contributing to pain. It is contributing to chronic illness and anything that's out of balance in the body. And I will give you some suggestions at the end as to what you can be doing in terms of some substitutes to increase the vibrational frequency by way of clothes, shoes, and other things. So again, I do have a video on how you can increase the vibrational frequency of your thoughts and what you put in your mouth by way of what you eat. So have a look at the Ascension Diet. I also have a video on consciousness, Q consciousness. So that will help you to establish, how do I vibrate high? What are the kind of consciousness? What's the consciousness level I need to be on, and what emotions do I need to heal? And more recently, I did do a video on, some of the traits of a high vibration person and who's ready, who's already in 4D, ready to go in 5D. So all of this in conjunction with today and incorporating, some sort of product that increases your vibrational frequency will ensure that you're always high vibration. So a study was done by Dr. Yellum in 2003. So this is nothing new. And I have been speaking about, the frequency of clothes and shoes in sort of little short videos for a long period of time. And when I was active on Telegram and had a Telegram channel that was public view, there was a lot of videos that I post in there as well on this. So it's not as if it's anything new that I'm discussing. So the frequencies of fabric do matter. And Dr. Yellen, was curious and looked at the Torah, which are the first five books of the Hebrew Bible. I mean, you can also look at the Old Testament. There's a lot there as well. And in old scrolls and gospels, of course, that have been suppressed. Um, and, there was a lot of mention of wool and linen in the Torah and in, of course, the ancient Gospels and texts and Old Testament. So this is nothing new. So what she did frequency measurements done in angstroms, ANGSTROMS, which is really a digital instrument called an AG Environ machine. So there are so many different machines that measure frequency. For example, there's biofeedback machines that we can use, the Hunter frequency machine, to measure the frequency of our body. And it will isolate where the inflammation is. And in my private Facebook group, you will, which is also linked in the description, you will see a video of a doctor there talking about measuring the frequency of the body and what happens before and after light tech was put on the body. And of course, the light tech that I use, X39, is in the description of this video, and how it just shot up. It just went, whew, the body really vibrated high. So there are things that we could be doing. And according to this machine, the human body has a frequency of about 70 to 100 M. So I'll refer the angstroms as M. Okay, so I'll shorten that. Small m is what the acronym is, which is really interesting because some people are actually vibrating higher than that now that we're ascending. But very interesting. Of course, as we know, the average Earth frequency of vibration is 7.82 hertz. Okay, so by grounding our feet on nature, we are also amping up our vibrational frequency, and which is why it's important. What shoes are we wearing? Are we taking on those beautiful frequencies, or are we really wearing rubber in between and not taking any of that on, which was the intention of having these low frequency clothes and low frequency shoes sold to us, because it's all about preventing us from vibrating high, having Q consciousness. And when you're vibrating high, guess what? There's no illness in the body. And that is emotional, physical, spiritual. None of that can coexist in a very high vibrational frequency body. And if you're vibrating low, well, then you're going to get inflammation, you're going to get pain, and you're going to get all sorts of illness. So that's pretty much your body saying, you need to do something to increase my vibrational frequency by mind, body, spirit, and light tech. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these frequencies, and then I'm going to bring up a graphic to show you. But let me summarize and focus on Dr. Yellen's paper and what she found. So let's start with the high frequency. So when she looked at linen and wool, she basically found that they had a frequency of 5,000 M. That's huge. However, she did say that when wool and linen are combined, the vibrational frequency goes to zero. So already we're seeing what we should be looking at in terms of wearing or putting on our bed in terms of bed linen. So this applies to anything that touches your skin, the shoes, the socks, the bed linen, and the clothes. Anything else. So it's anything that touches your skin that you put on to basically cover it. And it's interesting because when you look at the ancient Hawaiians, they wore things from around nature. They took particular plants, coconuts were used, to conceal a woman's breasts. So it was all nature. That's why they were vibrating high, the ancient Hawaiians. And the ancient Greeks used a lot of what I'm discussing here now and used saffron as a natural coloring. Okay, so they knew this stuff in ancient Greece and the ancient Hawaiians and many other ancient cultures. And this is why in ancient Greece they were able to live to 250. This is why I give you all this information. Okay, because a lot of it that I discuss about high vibration food, mind, body, and spirit was all practiced in ancient Greece. This is nothing new to the ancient Greeks, and many Greeks are still practicing this, a lot of this stuff, although they have gone a little bit off track with certain elements of the diet and forgotten light therapy or light tech that was used in ancient Greece. And this is why they're getting sick, because they're not remembering what they did in ancient times. Okay, so linen and wool are on top of the list. So the next one is organic cotton. Now, I do stress it needs to be certified organic because the normal cotton does have a lot of pesticides and chemicals, and a lot of the cotton t-shirts have been treated with chemicals, especially if they're made in China. So organic cotton came in at 100, which is pretty much in tune with the human body. Now, the standard bleached cotton measured at 40. So do you see the difference? It's quite vast. Okay, now for someone who's vibrating higher than 100, their body, uh, the conventional cotton would really be bringing that down even more. Even the organic cotton would be bringing it down more, because if your body's vibrating at over 100, cotton's only 100, organic cotton, that is. So silk was a little bit of a surprise. It only measures at 10. Um, so silk used to be processed naturally, she said, but modern processes use chemicals and isn't sustainable enough. So we want to go back to the old ways of how silk was processed, not the modern way where they add chemicals. So silk, although it may be perceived to be a natural fiber, it depends on how it's been processed. So unfortunately, it gets a 10, which is very low. Rayon or viscose, which is used in a lot of athletic gear. Oh my goodness me, both men's and women's athletic gear. It's not an accident, because you sweat and then you take on all the chemicals and whatever from the plastics. This is how people are absorbing plastics. Um, basically what it does, it uses mulched fibers, but also needs chemical breakdown. So they're using a lot of chemicals. So that gets a 15, very low. I mean, when you compare 5,000 linen and wool. Now, category 5 is polyester, acrylic, spandex, lycra. Again, all those nylon, which is most of the underwear, most of the bras, most of the undergarments for gentlemen as well. And again, sports gear, it's not an accident. You sweat, you absorb all these toxic chemicals, gets a 0, a solid 0. So basically, it really brings down your vibrational frequency. And all these fabrics are terrible for the environment. They're toxic to the environment. They start to also get you to sweat more, and therefore you smell more. Um, and, you know, Unfortunately, the hotter the weather and you wear those, the more toxic they are to your health. So, what about hemp? So very interesting. Dr. Yellen actually doesn't really talk about hemp, which is interesting in her 2023 measuring of frequencies. However, there is a lot to be said about organic hemp as well, because it was worn by many ancient Greeks. Like linen, hemp doesn't carry any static charge, which is really good. It's a very durable fiber. It is also UV resistant, so a great thing to wear, or linen, when you're actually going out in the sun, because it does offer some protection there as well. And it is bacteria and mold resistant, as is linen. So, although it's not mentioned in her study, because it's also, I don't think, mentioned in the Torah, and that's probably why that wasn't picked up. I do also want to add hemp, organic hemp, again, as another option. Be careful, because in conventional hemp, including bed sheets and what have you, they do actually spray chemicals. So you've got to be careful that they are certified organic. So so that's what I wanted to say there. Also, another thing that's wasn't in her study but is also worth considering is bamboo. So again, make sure it is 100% bamboo, not conventional bamboo, which actually does have all those toxins and what have you on there. And there's a lot of bamboo organic sheets. Sorry, I beg your pardon. So that's another area where you can incorporate, because you sleep for so many hours. So you got to make sure that those sheets are linen, or at least 100% organic cotton, or they're at least sort of, organic bamboo. We want high vibration, sheets, cotton sheets, and pillowcases. So basically, that's what Dr. Yellen came up with. She did also make an observation that she believes wearing black is going to slowly suck the life out of you. So it's very interesting, and this is why they deliberately associated wear black when you go to funerals, which I don't entirely agree with. And you notice when, especially in the Greek Orthodox culture, when someone passes away, say it's the husband, then the wife wears black for the rest of her life. And really, you notice that they age so quickly. So they're wearing really bad fabrics with low frequency, and at the same time putting a very sort of depressing color on top. Now, let's speak about shoes. The same thing applies to shoes that I said above. Okay, same thing applies. So, what could we be doing to minimize, these low frequencies and get into the high? What are the substitutes? So, most importantly of all, we know what fabrics we need to be looking for when we're buying shoes and when we're buying our clothes and our bed sheets, pillowcases, and so on. So, very important to know is that there are grounding shoes that you can buy, because when the ancients bought grounding shoes, they actually had a metal down the bottom that absorbed all the electromagnetic field from Mother Gaia and took it into the body. Now, we don't have that. So, what we can do is ground, or by actually walking on grass that hasn't been sprayed with toxic chemicals. A beach on the sand's very good, in the water. So make sure it's somewhere where there isn't chemicals and you're actually putting your feet barefoot on the ground. So another thing that I do is I have shoes that I bought that are lined with linen. So even though they've got rubber underneath, they're lined with linen so that I'm taking those frequencies. There's also 100% organic socks, and there's also linen, 100% organic linen socks. So you can substitute and wear those if you're going to wear rubber soled shoes and all of those. So very interesting. So there is things that we could be doing. So change I'm not saying go and throw out all your clothes, but what I'm saying, if you're going to buy a new garment, be mindful of the fabrics and what you're wearing, and choose something that is going to nurture your body, not make you sick. Same as your bedding, same as your shoes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share the screen, because I actually want to show you everything in a visual. And here we are. So on the left, we have the natural fibers. So linen, 5,000, wool, 5,000, hemp, 2,000 to 5,000, Rami 2,000 to 3,000, nettle 1,500 hertz, organic cotton 100, lotus silk 100 to 500. Remember, not all silk is the same. Rice husk 100 to 300. And let's look at all the low vibe: polyester, nylon, acrylic, spandex, modal, triacetate, polypropylene, polyethylene, or zero. None of these fabrics nurture your skin. They're all toxic. So again, be very careful what shoes you're wearing. And if you look at all the ones that I mentioned on the right-hand column, there are zero. It's our undergarments. It is our sporting gear because we sweat. It was all deliberate by design. So be very careful what you wear. So in addition to everything I've just mentioned that you could be doing to help, it's very important that you're doing things to increase the vibrational frequency of your mind, body, and spirit to negate if you're wearing these fabrics and shoes and so on. So I've given you a video on Q consciousness, and I've given you a video on the Ascension diet. So that covers the mind, body, spirit. But an additional thing that you could be doing is in the description of this video, and that is to lift your vibrational frequency every day, as the ancient Greeks did, using light therapy. And that is X39, and it is in the description of this video. So I hope you've found this video helpful. And again, I'm not saying go out and throw everything out. What I'm saying is, if you're going to buy a new item, check the labels, or whether it's a new pair of shoes, check the labels, and make sure you perhaps look for a substitute that does have the high vibration fabrics, and do things every day to lift your vibrational frequency so you're happy, healthy, and always vibrating high. After all, ascension is around the corner. All right, mahalo for watching. I love you all. God bless you, and have a beautiful day, night, wherever you are.
An empowered life has no expiration date. We're all created to do incredible things, like conquer summits, catch big waves, and live our passions. As time goes on, our bodies begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy levels decline, sleep patterns shift, and recovery slows. But our bodies are masterpieces of design, holding the potential to bounce back better than ever. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHKCU, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality, enhancing the body's flow of natural energy. For improvements in strength, stamina, performance, and overall health and well-being, with the simplicity of an affordable, non-invasive, non-transdermal patch. As we age, levels of these life-enhancing elements, which are associated with wellness and longevity, begin to decline. LifeWave invested 10 years into stem cell research, which resulted in over 70 patents. X39 was born to bring to the public a product that could support wellness in an entirely new way, supporting the production of younger, healthier cells with wearable light technology. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. Harness your body's natural potential to maintain youthful energy and vitality, because life comes at you fast, but it doesn't have to pass you by. Live long, live well, live young. Be the light with LifeWave X39. LifeWave.